Welcome to this programming tutorial. Today we will be looking at how to take user input and produce outputs. We will also take another look at variables and data types. First, let's look at how you can output something. C# uses a subroutine called console.writeLine to output text to a console. For now, understand that a subroutine is a sequence of instructions that are pre-made for you to use. Think of a restaurant. You might order a fish and chips at the restaurant, and they will handle the making of the fish and chips. You might not know how to make the fish and chips, but it doesn't matter, because the restaurant handles that for you. The brackets next to the console.writeLine signifies what we want to print out to the console. Let's add a simple string, hello world. Remember that you need a semicolon at the end of the statement to state the end of an instruction. To see the command working, click on your green Run arrow to compile your code. This is the console window, and it is text-based. As you can see, the console.writeLine command has been successfully run. Let's now change the output so that it adds two numbers together. Let's add 10 to 20. Now let's run the program again. As you can see, we end up with 1020. This is why data types are important. We are not adding two numbers together, but we are concatenating strings together. Concatenation means to join two or more things together. We can concatenate strings using the plus operator. Now let's change the strings into integers, and we will run our program. As you can see, because they are integers, you can add them together using the plus operator. This is the connection between data types and outputting, and it is something that you need to be aware of. Now, let's create a string variable that is assigned a name using the assignment operator. If we want to use variables inside our output, we can do that by writing the variable name as normal. If we run the program, you can see that the variable outputs the data that is stored inside it. We can also concatenate data to our variable in our output. Let's concatenate the end of an email address. As you can see, it outputs the data stored in the variable, followed by our string. Before moving on to user inputs, note that you can also use console.write to output data to the console. The difference is that console.write will not add a new line at the end of the line, while console.writeLine will add a new line to the end. You can see this working in the console. Something that you need to be confident in is taking user input into the program. That is, to ask the user for input and store it in a variable. To get user input, we use console.readLine. This subroutine will pause the program and wait for the user to enter data and to press enter. You can see that running in the console window. However, user input is no use if we are just asking for it. To make it useful, you need to store it inside a variable. Let's create a variable called user input and use the assignment operator to assign the user input subroutine to the variable. Like other variables, you need to declare the data type when it is created. Console.readLine is a string by default. Let's now use that variable inside an output statement, and we will run the program. As you can see, I can type in any information which will be then assigned to the variable. Once that data is done, we will output the new data stored in the variable. Note that you may want to add an output before the user input to tell the user what to enter. Let's do that now by asking the user to enter a number that we will then multiply by 5. We can then ask for user input and store it inside a variable called number. We can then output the number multiplied by 5. To multiply, we use the asterisk symbol. Before running the program, we have a logical error. We cannot properly multiply by 5 as a number is a string. To fix this, let's convert the user input by using the conversion techniques we learnt about in our last lesson. We will use console.toInt32 to convert the user input taken into an integer, and we will change the data type. Let's run the program and type in the number 10. As you can see, the output multiplies 10 by 5. Practice using inputs and outputs in your programs. It is an important skill to become confident in. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you have found it helpful.